everyone. I'm so happy that we're here today with Cake Kings on Air. Our first episode. The whole team is very privileged to have our first episode with our beautiful, all the way from Miss Nepal 2022. Priyanka Rani Joshi. She's crowning Miss Nepal 2023. And we went to the same school, FYI. So I'm very happy that she's back here in Seattle. Do you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Of course.
For those
Hi.
who don't know you.
सर्वप्रथम त हेरिरहनु भएको सबै महानुभावहरुमा मेरो पनि न्यानो नमस्कार. म Miss Nepal 2022 Priyanka Rani Joshi, and like my sweet host mentioned, it's my privilege to be here for Cake King's first podcast, and like I said before we started, I hope we set a good precedent for the upcoming episode, so we'll have a blast together in the podcast scene.
You chose like the best days in Seattle to be here. Normally, pani parza, everybody knows. I don't know back home in Nepal how many people know, but it's mostly bad weather. When you were here, like the sun was shining, it's beautiful. Did you like Seattle?
I'd like to believe I brought the sun with me,
yes.
But Seattle ko चाहिँ मेरो preconceived notion के थियो भन्दाखेरि, like you mentioned, gloomy होला. Even in the movies that have been shot around Seattle. Yeah, Sleepless in Seattle, 50 Shades. I think there's one more, the Twilight series. You get a very different vibe of the place. It looks very cold, it looks very airy, it looks very dark. But when I landed in Seattle, I was blown out of my mind.
Doesn't it remind you of Nepal? Like
especially Pokhara. Yeah. It's so close to the water bodies, and also the mountain is just there for you to see. Yeah. So the drive here, when I was driving here to the studio, it was so beautiful. You're on a bridge, there's water, you're floating on water, and there's just mountains to welcome you, and the view is so breathtaking. So yeah, Seattle, what I've realized is to have preconceived notions about any place by just watching movies is a big no-no.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad to be in Seattle. पहिला अमेरिका आउँदाखेरि सियाटल आउने बाटै खुले थिएन. यसपालि Cake Kings हाम्रो एसी शेर्पा दाइ को एफर्ट, कम्बाइन्ड एफर्टले गरेर यहाँ आइपुगेको छु. पहिला सियाटलमा टेक्नु पाउँदाखेरि साह्रै नै रमाइलो भयो.
Yeah, I'm so glad you joined us in Seattle. You went in a concert recently with V10.
That was so much fun. That was my first night in Seattle, and to start with, Samir Dai was a big blast of energy to boost me through the journey too. And I think he was so vivacious on stage, and just to acknowledge that Cake Kings have been bringing all the Nepali community together with artists and culture is so encouraging, even for us as artists.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me for the concert too. It was such a great night, and you hosted the event. You were so great
like
up there.
A snippet.
You were so good up there.
No, you were good. You were great. And then you came in and asked for support, and you have a meet and greet ispachi, so
I have a meet and greet tonight. I'm sure people at Seattle are going to show me as much love. ढुक्कै छु कि नि ढुक्कै छु यहाँको मान्छेहरुको energy, उहाँहरुको want to support a young individual with dreams and aspirations is so visible that I'm not worried at all.
So like we were talking about being Miss Nepal, and then how does your day-to-day look like? What is it like to be a Miss Nepal?
Oh my God, no 2 days are the same. No 2 days are the same. Sometimes you're planting trees, sometimes you're at the club promoting your project, sometimes you're at an event where you talk about a cause, sometimes you're walking the ramp as a model.
Yeah.
So there's no fixed episode of things that you do each day. You're sometimes advocating for something, you're sometimes walking for something on the ramp, you're sometimes just out with friends trying to figure out what you're going to do with life, because even as Miss Nepal, people might think you've got everything covered, but they forget you're just a young little girl trying to pave your way through life. So it's such a nice conversation with friends, and you're really trying to tackle down every obstacle that life throws at you. So life is beautiful, but like I said again, no 2 days are the same. You're actually juggling through life in many ways and form.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, म नेपाल गएको recently. अनि नेपालमा मेरो साथीहरुसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि There's like so frustrated with the whole like things that are happening in Nepal and like political future based about kaamहरुको रोजगारीहरु देखि लिएर हैन. What are your thoughts on that, like as I don't know, Miss Nepalको perspective and your personal perspective? Do you have any?
Yeah, many. So what goes out to happen in Nepal is, I'll give you a special distinction. When you look at hierarchy of a society, you see the riches, you see them doing very well. Then there's middlemen who are like stuck between the rich, and there's this poverty line, and there are people who live under it. So Nepal ma चाहिँ के हुनु जान्छ भने, might not be true for all generalizations, but in most cases, the middlemen disappear. Okay? So it's a high distinction between the higher level, and if you don't make it to that level, you're just burning down towards the lower level. There's no middlemen. There's no middlemen, so there's no distinction. So यहाँबाट आउँदाखेरि मान्छेहरुलाई के हुन्छ भने ढुकुटीमा पैसा छैन अहिले. हामी जस्तो युवाहरुलाई काम गर्नलाई चाहिँ घरबाट पैसा आउँछ भन्दा पनि we're new generation, we come with new ideas, we want someone to fund them. ढुकुटीमै पैसा छैन, घरमै पैसा छैन भने how are we trying to fund the ideas and the entrepreneurship around? There's no possible way to do that. Hence we're losing so many brains and muscles to the foreign land. Right? When that happens, about to bring them back, we need to find out ways to bring back their money too. तर उहाँलाई पैसा राख्नुको लागि पनि there's no environment. So त्यो ठाउँमा एउटै ठाउँमा के अब नेपाल भन्ने बित्तिकै एउटा काठमाडौँ भन्ने दिमागमा आउँछ, because everything happens around that place. Everything economic, everything generational, everything that harvest happens in Kathmandu. So decentralization is so important in Nepal today. काठमाडौँबाट बाटो राम्रो हुँदै गइराछ, तराईको बाटो यस्तो राम्रो छ नि त. So if we can capitalize on roads and maybe make the pocket villages like the projects that I'm working with, or even the cities that have so much scope to do better, like Pokhara and Chitwan, if we commercialize these two aspects of these cities too, there'll be so much more to do. There'll be so much space. Kathmanduमा जग्गै छैन है. How are you trying to establish new businesses? You can't flourish new ideas if there's no roof over it. Right? So when that happens, you lose a lot of ideas to foreign lands. यहाँ के गर्ने हो? Job seekers त हुने हो. We're actually compromising on a lot of new ideas, freshness, innovations, when we're losing our brains and muscles to entrepreneurship to a foreign land. त्यही भएर अब रोजगारीको लागि काम चाहियो, काम गर्नुको लागि पैसा चाहियो, पैसा गर्नुको लागि ढुकुटीमा पैसा छैन, ब्याङ्कले हामीलाई यसरी फाइनान्शियल लोन गर्नु, it's not feasible at all. So what we as youth should and try to inculcate in Nepal is to have them in politics, to have them in power, to have our representatives on a state level that really funds our ideas through and through, because all we need is a safe space combined with money. हैन हामी तिरौला, हामी पैसा पहिला राम्रो गर्नु देऊ, हामी देशलाई राम्रो गरौँला भन्ने हाम्रो ऊर्जा छ नि त, हाम्रो जोश छ नि त. तर you need to fund these ideas too. त्यही भएर once we have proper representation in our state level, it will get better, and I have so much hope in the future that I'm looking at, especially with the independent parties doing well. The representation is shifting from a generation to next, and maybe in the election that is to come about in 4 years now, we will see a lot of changes in the government level too. I'm hopeful of that, and I vouch for change.
I want to switch gears a little bit.
Okay, to what?
Ask about like your personal life, Anthony. Like I heard you're an aspiring
gemologist.
What does that mean?
So aspiring gemologist भनेको चाहिँ हाम्रो family business हो. सुन चाँदी हिराको momले jewelry business हो. Momले she started off 15 years back, and I want to take it forward. मलाई चाहिँ सानैदेखि flagship stores हरू all around the world खोल्ने एकदमै ठुलो चाहना कि आमाले एउटा गर्नु भयो हैन. As a second generation of a business family, what can I do next? I can only expand it. I can, what can I do next? I can only create more out of the legacy. So मलाई चाहिँ यहाँ पहिल्यैदेखि अमेरिका आएर पनि हाम्रो राम्रो clientele पनि छ. So I want a flagship store here. I want a flagship store all around Nepal. So त्यो गर्नुको लागि चाहिँ I think a degree is very important. I plan on coming to the GI Institute either in New York or California, the best you've got. त्यहाँ degree लिएर गएपछि चाहिँ I become a gemologist, but until I get the degree, I call myself an aspiring gemologist.
That's so cool, like, to hear that you're still, like, you know, family-oriented, business-minded, and you're doing, like, beauty pageant stuff. That's, like, you're doing it all. Like, you're brains with beauty, like, bronze with brains, you know? Like,
I find that term so derogatory.
Yeah?
Don't you think so? Brains with beauty. Like, is that so fascinating that someone beautiful can have brains?
That's true.
Right? Something to think about. Yeah, I feel like in the stereotypical society that we live in, people are just trying to bring women down. Okay?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Sometimes. Like, not always, but mostly they are, and you need to figure that out. And when these terms are tossed around, it's just one of the...
triggers you.
Yeah, it's just one of my triggers. Yeah.
So that's so cool. Like, so then, do you think, like, Miss Nepal is being more cause oriented? Like, why are there, like, less protests now compared to Paila?
It is cause oriented.
Is it, like, shifting that narrative? Like, it's not just a beauty pageant, but it's a platform to, like, do something about it, like with your projects, like, for example.
There are less protests than there used to be before, but we've come through that from a long fight. Let's not forget that. It's been 28 years that this pageantry has been going on. I remember in early 20s, we used to have the worst protests. हुनै दिँदैन थियो, एउटा वर्ष त क्यान्सलै भएको pageantry. Miss Nepal pageant के उनीहरू, they were all set to go. Finale को दिन हुन्छ नि, after all the trainings. There was such a huge protest that they could not hold the pageant at all. They had to cancel it that year at the last moment. So we've come such a long way. So many people support us. They really love us. And like you've mentioned, I think it is because of the cause that we have been taken forward with us. Pageant girls are always on the move. You might see me here today. Boli Nepal pugera mero project गरिरहेको हुन्छ. So there's not just one fixed thing, and there's not just one fixed cause that you carry with you. So people have started acknowledging that. It is a huge platform to endorse your country, not in a commercial aspect, but as a value added face. Ambassadorship ko lai, it's the biggest platform ki. It's just representation ni. Sports ko kura आउँदाखेरि मान्छेहरु खेलेर आफ्नो देशलाई चिनाउँछ भन्दा pageantry मा पनि त्यो scope छ के. On Miss World मा जाँदाखेरि you take along you're going there with 122 countries. If you get to do well, you're just shining amongst the biggest of the countries on the stage.
Yeah, so true.
What better endorsements and ambassadorship can we talk about than pageant? But we need to cash on to this too. We need to realize, we need to understand, and people are doing that. मैले प्रोजेक्टहरुको कुरा जान्दाखेरि धेरै जनासँग कुरा गर्छु नि त. So उहाँहरुको pageantको first hand thought र आइडियाहरु सुन्ने देख्ने उहाँको facial expressionsहरुबाट रिले हुने धेरै बाटोहरु खुलेर जान्छ कि, but they're also positive.
So like you have been talking about your project, right? Like tell us more about that project.
Oh my god, it's $1 million project. No, the investment is pretty low, but my main focus with the project for Beauty with a Purpose 2023 in Miss World was how can I relate it to my personality? How can I relate to my profession? Because मलाई गर्दाखेरि पनि it needs to make sense coming from me. मैले सिकाउँदाखेरि मैले तालिमहरु दिँदाखेरि अब I'm not a dentist, I'm not a doctor, मैले दाँतको hygiene dental campहरु दिँदाखेरि it makes no sense. मलाई थाहा हुँदैन नि त के गरिरा भनेर. So when I make a project, I knew I needed to go about with something that I was hands on with. So पहिलेदेखि सानैदेखि व्यापार गरेको देखिरहेको हैन, and I knew how big socio-economic reforms are in making a person's life completely different. So मैले चाहिँ अब गाउँहरु खोज्न थाले कि सोशियो इकोनोमिकल प्रोजेक्ट गर्छु भन्दाखेरि अनि धेरै ठाउँहरु गए है. I went around like 6-7 villages. Then I came up around to Upper Dangari. चितवन छ नि have you been you of course you know of Chitwan I'm sorry चितवनबाट चाहिँ शक्तिखोर भन्ने एरिया छ there's just 1 hour drive up the hill Upper Dangari भन्ने ठाउँमा भेटाएँ कि and it was so interesting for me because त्यहाँको मान्छेहरूले चाहिँ म के गरी खान्छु मलाई गर्नु मात्रै दियो I'm going to do so much better with whatever resources I can get भन्ने एउटा vibe पाएँ हैन that's one thing अनि the next thing that I really figured out was गाउँमा जान्छु है धेरै महिला बच्चाहरू छ पुरुष वर्गको मान्छेहरू हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ कि त बुढोहरू हुनुहुन्छ कि त बच्चाहरू छन् कि अनि के भयो खै त हाम्रो जवान युवाहरू भनेर भन्दाखेरि खाडी मुलुकमा काम गर्नु जानुभएछ हाम्रो वर्ल्ड कप भइरहेछ उहाँहरू त स्टेडियम बनाइरहनु भएछ भनेर भने हैन अति चित्त दुख्यो अनि I knew in my head this was one of the village I came across तर सहरबाट पनि कति मान्छेहरू गयो होला नि त so really so I had to make this project work in this village okay so it also becomes like a model village a model project for all the socio-economic reforms that we can do around Nepal okay अब यहाँ गर्छु भनेर सोचे है अब मिस वर्ल्डमा जाँदाखेरि त अब प्रोजेक्ट आइडिया मात्रै लिएर गएर भएन नि त I need to take results along with me what can I do what can I really help them out with भनेर हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I stayed with them for a week or so उहाँहरूले के गर्नु हुँदो रहेछ भने दुई कुरा एउटा चाहिँ सबै 58 households they're all trackable so it was so easy to work around this village एउटा चाहिँ 58 households मात्रै भएको भएर चाहिँ they used to make honey bee farming गर्नु हुँदो रहेछ अर्को चितवन not the magical ones the normal ones अर्को चाहिँ चितवनको नजिक हुनु भएर चाहिँ दे न्यू होमस्टे बिजनेसेसहरू हुन्छ भनेर बट ट्रेनिङ नपुगेर दे डु नट नो हाउ टु एक्चुली क्यारी इट आउट कि इन्ट्रेस्टिङ थिङ अबाउट हस्पिटालिटी होइन एक हप्ता त बस्यौँ अनि एकदमै भोक लाग्दाखेरि दिउँसो दिदी खाजा खाऊ न भन्दाखेरि अब उहाँहरूलाई थाहा नभएको त होइन तर ट्रेनिङ्स नपुगेको के हस्पिटालिटी सेक्टरमा चौचौ खाऊँ भनेर भन्नुभयो झोल भातलाई चौचौ बनाउनु भयो अनि खानु ल्याउँदाखेरि त अब देयर नो प्लेट्स देयर नो एक्स्ट्रा बोल्स एउटा ठुलो डेक्ची हुन्छ नि जेमा पकाउनु हुन्छ नि त्यसमै ल्याएर राखिदिने अनि कसरी खाने भन्दा हातले खाऊ भन्ने कि so you need to we did not we figured something out but we need to give them trainings because there's so much more we can do with this place it's beautiful it's just like it's well the Seattle air that they talk about so especially with the mountain ranges the view is just the same ani yodita aspect ma say we're working honeybee farming is one of the biggest projects we can tap onto in Nepal we don't really have a big commercializing industry that only deals with honey so hamle yo barrel lock farming bata say if we shift our gears to grid farming we're collaborating with Dabur on that they will generate about 70 to 120 kgs of honey only barrel logs मात्रै it's just mere 7 to 12 उनीहरूले आफूलाई मात्रै खानु पुग्छ कि उहाँहरूलाई मेरो गाउँको मान्छेहरूलाई so 70 to 120 each homes बाट निस्क्यो भने imagine the amount of honey we're making and if we directly collaborate with Dabur on that we're good on the selling aspect
isn't Dabur like Indian company
Dabur Nepal पनि छ नेपालमा पनि हो so we're collaborating with Dabur Nepal त्यो हुँदा जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ every month the honey that they create will be bought by Dabur so they get their income every month
but like is that project sustainable are you
listen to that so मेरो agenda चाहिँ with these projects tinta भयो हैन socio-economic reforms I figure out okay Daburले यो honeybee farming हेर्दिन्छ hospitality को लागि we have so many sectors and reforms that we can work with all the co-ops so agenda number 1 सक्यो हैन but I need to make it sustainable नि त how can I do that भन्दाखेरि they need to make money they need to create opportunities every month with this project so Dabur सँग जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ honey every month जान्छ अनि they get their revenues exactly like that for the hospitality sector we're hence collaborating also with tourism sector so that we get to promote these places it's really looped under and enveloped under the area of Chitwan so if people hear about it I'm sure हामी काठमाडौँबाट नगरकोट गएको जस्तै चितवनबाट चाहिँ अप्पर दाङगढी जाने एउटा सिस्टम चाहिँ प्रख्यात हुँदै जान्छ कि so for sustainability it was very important for me to reach out to the professionals so they have the ecology going on. So once they have the full reform, मलाई चाहिँ यो ठाउँमा के चाहियो भन्दाखेरि अब economic project, packaging, यो honeybee farmingहरुको कुरा आयो हैन, तर उहाँहरुको maximize effort leverage गर्नुको लागि चाहिँ the one thing I needed which was not there was electricity. कि बत्ती नै छैन त्यो गाउँमा.
अहिले पनि
Listen, बत्ती नै थिएन कि त्यो गाउँमा. अब बत्ती नभएपछि त there's just so much we can do with like given 4-5 hours because घरको कामहरु पनि हुन्छ नि त उहाँहरुको. So what can I do with it भन्दाखेरि अब मलाई बत्ती चाहियो हैन. अब मैले मिनिस्ट्री लेभलको मान्छे त हैन, मैले आफै पोलहरु टाङ्नु त मिल्दैन नि त. So I called कुलमान अंकल के हाम्रो NEA मा, अंकल मैले यस्तो प्रोजेक्ट गर्नु खोजेको भन्दाखेरि he was more than happy. उहाँको रिफर्म चाहिँ he is trying to electrify all the slots of Nepal, 100% electrify garnu khojnu bhayeko cha ni ta, all these pocket villages, these major cities, everything he wants to electrify them in every way possible. So uhanle chai aba timle bhetasau bhane we will help you out bhanera यति धेरै चुनावहरुमा यति धेरै मान्छेले म बत्ती ल्याइदिन्छु भनेर 10 वर्षदेखि पहल गरेको है. त्यहीको लोकल्सहरुले धेरै वर्ष भइसक्यो पहल गरेको. मेरो एउटा प्लेटफर्मको क्रेडिबिलिटीले, मेरो एउटा प्लेटफर्मको निडले we were able to take electricity in 5 months.
Wow. It's very inspiring. Thank you for sharing.
Of course, thank you.
It's a deep conversation. So we're going to switch gears again.
Okay, what do you know? What do you want to know about?
So I'm like curious, since you're saying, you're trying to figure out your personality, who you want to be as a person, like have you started looking for someone special, or do you have someone special in your life?
Do you think I have time to look for someone special in almost everything I'm doing? Like, love is a big word. Love is so important to me. And I think the world runs on love. Okay? What is the biggest currency that the world runs on? We all share different currencies. Kun ठाउँको yen हो भने कुनै ठाउँमा dollars also. But every language that is understood throughout the world, in respective of putting aside all the barriers, all the aspects, is love. Okay? So love is such a huge thing for me. So I have been waiting. The applications are open.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you have a criteria?
No, not really.
What
I've figured is when you click, you click. You cannot orchestrate these things. These things just happen, and I'm waiting for my thing to happen too.
But like no pressure from your family?
None at all. They're just so happy with me right now. They've always wanted me to find myself before finding someone else for me. Right? That is so important. To be the best partner to somebody, you should be the best of you to yourself first.
Yeah.
So I'm on that journey right now.
Yeah.
Love the boy honey. I have the whole life for love. I'm a big person on love, but यो 2 वर्ष चाहिँ आफ्नोलाई खटेर काम गर्यो भने I think I'll be bigger on love when it comes around my corner.
Beautiful, because if you're showing respect to your future person too, like being and then figuring out all your like stuff, and like working on yourself. That's
whoever
very
he
nice.
is, I'm excited to meet you.
Is it gonna be Nepali or?
I cannot tell.
Ooh.
How can you tell?
Yeah.
Like, that's so futuristic. Right?
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to bump into one day and just fall in love.
Yeah. But I think we're at that age where we want like someone serious, right?
Yes, please. Someone serious, yes.
Okay.
I've never had casual relationships. It was never my thing. I can never do that. So somebody serious would be a biggest yes. A biggest thumbs up.
We're back here. Welcome everyone from the break, and I'm with beautiful Miss Priyanka Rani Joshi, Miss Nepal 2022, crowning Miss Nepal 2023. It's always going to be hard for me to say that. You
don't have to keep saying I crown Miss Nepal 2023. That's not my job description.
That's going to be like too formal.
Yeah.
But we're going to play a fun game.
Yes, please. Out of all the heavy talks, a fun game is what we need.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I don't know. I've never played like Never Have I Ever like this.
Never?
Okay, I guess I've never have I ever played. Never have I ever in a podcast with Miss Nepal or anybody.
I'm acting like I play it every day. Okay, this should be interesting, Tara.
Okay. So, do you want to start?
No, you go with the questions.
Okay.
I'm bad.
Never have I ever failed an exam. I got an F here.
I've never failed a class, thankfully, but chemistry say.
Oh my god.
Chemistry. Yes. Chemistry say it's always not been my subject. Not necessary feeling it all the time, but ek dui choti sai fail bhaeko cha.
Okay. Never have I ever kissed a guy.
So you drink it if you've done it, I know. Oh, sorry, Mom.
Never have I ever been in a fight.
A cat fight? Oh my god, I used to do it all the time.
So were you like a tomboy growing up?
I was, but the bigger part of fun is that I went to a convent. Imagine being surrounded by like ferocious, young, heaving teenager all the time.
Wait, convent, what does that mean?
Convent, it's an institute run by nuns.
Wait, are you?
I went to Darjeeling St. Helens Convent.
But you're not Christian, right?
No.
Like,
You don't have to change, come on. You just have to. St. Mary's पढे जस्तै हो तर दार्जिलिङमा borders.
Interesting.
It was that. So it was just women and like you had conflicts all the time. Groupismहरू हुन्थ्यो. Thank God we don't have to deal with all that anymore. Every age group को आफ्नो problem है. Groupsहरू हुन्थ्यो. You need to like find your troop, fight your battles. Oh my God, I got into a lot of fights.
Fun times. Okay. Never have I ever Googled myself.
I did it even before Miss Nepal. Okay, that's so funny.
I have also Googled. There's a LinkedIn मात्रै also.
Oh, may say there are a couple of things now.
Oh, controversy?
No. They're just like the things that I do around.
Course, yeah.
It's fun to look at.
Never have I ever taken a revenge on someone.
Oh my God.
Even though it's like petty. Have you taken a revenge on someone?
Yes.
Never have I ever been rejected by a guy. You have? No, not Miss Nepal.
Not after I became one, but like, yeah. No, actually, even after I became one.
Like 9 years old or something?
No. Just recently too. Like I wasn't looking for anybody, but anything, or I wasn't looking for anything to happen. But I have been rejected.
Never have I ever stalked an ex on social media.
I have.
Still.
No, it's like not just to see what they're doing, but to see how they're doing it from genuine place of your heart. So stalking is good. As long as you don't talk to them, I think stalking is the way to go.
Okay. Last question, Dada.
Okay.
Never have I ever gone skinny dipping.
No. I wish I had.
You're coming to US this way, and it's
oh my God! It's everything about coming to the US. I
mean, do you want to go to? Have fun? You want to go to UK?
No. US ma पनि रमाइलो त छ, but I could do these things in Nepal too. It's fun.
Skinny dip in Nepal.
Imagine in a mountain range, like
I mean, there are people who do like ice baths.
They thought that would be fun too.
I was gonna ask you, how many pairs of shoes do you own? I
have no count of it. There are many.
Yeah?
Yes. Like, but there's just two that are your favorite. I think you can relate to it. Jati closet ma jutta bhaye pani luga bhaye pani, your hands just reaches out to 2 or 3 maximum sneakers or pairs of heels that you wear all the time. So I have quite a few shoes, but they're like 2-3 that I wear always.
Okay. So another question, right? This can be like out of the blue or something. Okay. And like, if you were a tree, what type of tree would you be?
Okay, that's interesting.
It's kind of like, you have to think deep. I don't know, like an interview question. Like
I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it that hard, but maybe.
You don't have to.
And wait, how does an apple tree sound?
apple tree. Why? Because it produces fruit, or?
Yeah, I think apple trees would be very interesting because not just that it produces food, but one of my favorite fruits are apples.
Oh.
So first, Nibitika, I didn't go very deep into the question. I didn't go like tree, whatever. So it just hit me like apple trees would be perfect.
What did you first think about?
Apple trees. Oh.
Do you like apples a lot?
I really like apples. They're my favorite fruits.
So do you eat like healthy?
No,
Healthy?
no, I do not. I don't have a diet. I'm blessed with good metabolism, so I haven't been on a diet yet. I work out, I burn my food, but I give my body something to burn all the time.
So you like outdoorsy, active?
Yeah, outdoors. Gym धेरै गर्छ outdoorsy भन्दाखेरि पनि. So I'm more like a gym freak right now.
Like weightlifting? You like
No, just
Pilates?
cardio.
Cardio, running.
The hit exercises, the ones that you get done in about 60 minutes, but you're on the go as you start. Those are my type.
Nice. It gives you like an adrenaline rush.
Yes,
I love that.
I don't sweat when I'm doing weights. People might actually come back to me saying it's not about sweating, but मलाई चाहिँ when I burn calories, I want it to show in my body. Okay? I need to release sweat. So workout are something that I really genuinely work towards.
So like Miss World, like you have to be this waist size when it wants. Oh, this
One
weight
one
That's so cool. Like kapal pani lamu hunu parदैन.
No. They don't give you any typecast. You can actually go with a bald head and they would welcome you with open arms.
That's nice. That's like a different...
People actually have really bad notions about pageantry. Yस्तै हुनुपर्छ, stereotypical हुन्छ. No, मैले अघि भने जस्तो you gotta break out of the box to really maximize the effort and leverage of any platform. Okay? It's not static to just one method of working neither. It's not just like one person who wins. There are different people all the time. So you have to come about with different personalities. More so over, you have to be in sync with your own personality. Find yourself before you go for Miss World. And that's the only journey you have to be on through that year.
That's so nice. We're coming to the end of the podcast, but we wanted to know, who is Priyanka Rani Joshi?
That's a deep question. So when I think about myself, I only see myself still with that energy and enthusiasm that I had when I was younger. So when you ask me who am I think internally I'm still that 5-year-old who has no preconceived notion of the world, who believes in everybody, who believes in potential, who believes in capabilities, who sees changes happening and wants to be a big part of revolutions where countries are formed and based off good things in life. So I see myself as this 5-year-old who's looking to learn, who's looking to grow, and who's so out there to achieve big things in life.
But again, thank you so much for listening and tuning in with Kickings on Air. We're gonna do more episodes like these. So I'm so glad we got off in a good start. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.